speaking of uniting ourselves in all these different struggles, housing is a huge issue that all folks face, especially in Colorado Springs today. I mean, this has always been a problem for working folks around the country, really around the world. I'm reminded of an old IWW cartoon that's like the working class getting squeezed between low wages and high rents from like 100 years ago. We're still facing those same problems. So today we have to talk about housing issues. Somebody who has organized among the unhoused very successfully, Katria, aka Bliss, will be speaking about organizing among the unhoused. Thank you.
Hello there, Katria, also known as Bliss, also known as Kitty, from right here. I'm super nervous, so I'm going to read what I wrote. Alright. It's bittersweet to be back in my hometown, to even be back on the soil that I used to sit in big kumbaya circles with my unhoused family. It's bittersweet emotion to return a once proud party, and now seeing the benches gone, tents scattered in inhumane conditions, and everyone immune to the fact that it's illegal to basically end up sleeping outside. At what time are the unhoused individuals supposed to look for, let alone keep a job? When your home is a crime met by cops with seemingly good intentions and cheap jokes. These buses and routes are simply just don't make sense. And the DHS building is an hour bus ride away from all of the other resources. I used to work right down the street here at El Encino's about a decade ago. They were aware and extremely accommodating to my living situation. I was living in an abandoned house and worked mainly a second shift. The first place that I'd go to in the morning was right here to this park. That fountain was my sink in the morning. That way I could save face so I can get my Starbucks over here. About $1.50 for an Americano, which I would panhandle down the street, up the street from my job. I would ask for quarters. I wouldn't just sit there ask for change. I'd ask for quarters so that, I could kind of blend in. This corner now is spiked to keep everyone walking. It makes some weird kind of, flower bed, I guess. No one's allowed to sit down. It's literally spiked. I eventually earned enough for a room at the old Chief Motel. There was no deposit and I didn't have to worry about transit because there was a free shuttle at the time that would dash from South Nevada to again here in this park. It and most of all of the other buses ran till about midnight. I worked the second shift because smartphones were still brewing into the popularity that it has now become, so I didn't have an alarm clock. A little under a decade after that chapter, I again found myself preparing to return back to the literal streets. Knowing how the laws have changed against being unhoused here, I traveled out of state, where I resided in a self-sustaining tent community or encampment. I knew I wanted to help people and make that my work. Starting from the tent up. I was inspired by our matriarch there. She cooked 3 square meals a day for the entire encampment and was the main donation drop-off point. I started using social media to gain more awareness of our community. Our supporters were gracious enough to help us not struggle as unhoused individuals. We even managed to try to start our own work program within our community. Not only were we, the unhoused, keeping our home clean and safe, since the cops showed us that we were basically less than human to them, we fed and clothed the masses, unhoused or not, all in hourly paid shifts, just like your neighborhood, and y'all neighborhood. We did this from our tents. It's the only difference. But unfortunately, the endless war between let people live versus just sweep away the eyesores overpowered this country once again. So now, I again ask you, how are the unhoused supposed to work here in America? Especially here when simply setting up your shelter in place is a crime. Our shelters are overflowed, and in the 719, the buses stop a little after 9. There are people right now struggling to park close to work for the night, struggling to keep their belongings safe while they work, struggling to keep their jobs because they can't make that night shift. And we don't even have time to speak on the working unhoused that are trapped in addiction to level up their back-breaking jobs with strange hours. Lucky for them, they are doped up enough to work hard and fast, eventually to become housed near you for a little bit. Our homeless crisis in America goes much deeper than go get a job, especially here. And it's like our city, excuse me, sorry. It's like to our city, the unhoused community, and too many historical things are stepped on and swept away as an eyesore and a check. They sweep the unhoused and mentally ill away for 7, 30, 90 days and get paid each time that door revolves, as a recidivist program taught me. Our city comes quick to trashing belongings and building spikes to keep people from panhandling there. Just everyone congregate by the 2 or 3 shelters we have. I believe in our city we have to find and regain our humanity, remembering that everyone's situation is different. And understand, meaning really get it through our heads, that the homeless or unhoused crisis is never ending in our country or any others. I'm sorry to break it to you. We must start with balance and our tolerance, helping our unhoused neighbors once again be self-sustaining enough to get and keep jobs, remembering that your unhoused neighbor is a human being, remembering that at a Thanos snap, almost all jobs can disappear. Open some of these empty gentrified buildings and use them for the public. Allow more programs and opportunities to help people not struggle again. We need to treat our people as a people, since the government has deemed most people a criminal check. We need to take the care away from our city's hot link team, and once again love our unhoused neighbors as we would our family. We as a community need to remove the rug our government has laid to help stop the sweeps, and once again give all power back to the 719, housed or not. Thank you.